start this video by showing you the end of qualifying. So you see I put a stonk of a lap in a 2:17.0, really happy with it, elated, and then watch what happens. 3, 2, 1. Mr. Pav46 comes along and ruins my party. Oh, Pav, you bastard. Was not happy with that at all. Right, let's crack on with the race then, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so on to the race then. And as you see after qualifying, so what that clip didn't show was, although Pav cheekily pipped my time right at the end, Dawson, who gave me a slipstream, went out, and even though he was fuel saving during the lap, because he had to, because he was wasting so much fuel, like he fuel burned too much basically, he pipped in sort of like a mid 2:16 in qualifying with no slipstream. So yeah, Dawson, obviously the alien, puts it on pole. We'll flick through the grid. This is the penultimate race. Don't forget. So this the iconic circuit Spa-Francorchamps. So Dawson on pole. I want to say it was a mid or a late 2:16. Pav, as we saw, just crept into the 16s as well. I think me with pretty much a bang on 2:17. Fat Pickles Bro and Thundercat, the two NSXs, a good showing by them, and a strong car for this track as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on during the race. Tricky Treat, the Alphas were gonna struggle. I mean, they're good in sector 2, well, sector 1 and sector 3, unless they had a slipstream, they had no chance really. So I guess if Tricky can keep with the pack, we know he's a good driver. We've seen him up there. He's in the mix at that sort of thick end of the table. So if he can keep in the groove. Pot in the Porsche. So I don't know what happened to Potter in qualifying, because Pav obviously stuck a stonk of a lap in. I don't know if you've seen it happen all throughout the season, that you just don't get a good lap in sometimes. That may well have happened to Potter. Porsche probably the strongest car for this track. If you were to pick a car out of all these seven different ones that we've got here, Porsche probably the strongest. Riz the King in the Mazda. As I said last week, the Group 3 Mazda is a good car, so we'll see how that performs. LBJ in the Merc, interesting car. So it's a great car, but for some reason wasn't smashing it around Spa. It just wasn't pulling the times in, so I'm not quite sure why. James Harben in the other Alpha in P10. Up 36 in the Ford. So the Fords are a very strong car in the straights, but really come undone in the twisties. They just haven't got the stability in them. The weight transfer on these things is dreadful. They're really unstable going through Radion and Rouge. So Mup 36 only really managed to get 11th, and I think a couple of weeks ago was it a Dragon Trolley, but he absolutely bossed that race, so we know he's a driver that can drive quick. The Paul King in the other Merc is in P12. Milky Bar in the other Mazda is in P13, and last but by no means least is Has 91. So we're going to get on with this one. This is an absolute belter of a race. So in fairness, I'm probably not going to interrupt it too much, other than just to make necessary cuts and all that sort of stuff. So I'll kind of leave it to play and just commentate what I know. Yeah, we'll go from there really. Let's see what this one holds. Turn the volume down a little bit. Always gets really loud at the start. Well, if you haven't already, go and wash your hands. COVID-19, all that stuff. Drivers get away well then. So down into T1. Looks like the Mercs have got a flyer of a start. Pav's had a shocker of a start. So Fat Pickles Bro, Thundercats up into second and third respectively. I'm down into fourth. I bogged down a little bit on the start. But Pav's the loser there. He's come out in fifth, but with a slipstream, should be absolutely fine. Right, so as everyone comes through Rouge for the first time, let me just just check my notes. So yeah, it does look like. So on this one, basically I pulled out. I was going to go for a move on Thundercat. I did it too early, and Pav got the slipstream from the NSX instead, and sneaked one up the inside. Great move though by Pav, to be fair, really opportunistic of him. And yeah, it was genuinely a very good move. Dawson has escaped into the lead. The two NSXs trailing in behind, keeping in that draft. Then there's an absolute train of cars. Pav 46, me, LBJ up into 6 in the Merc. That got a flyer of a start. Tricky Tree in the Alpha. Has got Potter all over his back end. Potter's in a very strong car for this circuit, so Potter's going to want to try and get past him quick. Rizzler King in the Mazda is starting to fall away from the back a little bit. And then Mutt 36 in the Ford, coming under a lot of pressure from the guys behind. So he's got a Merc right up his chuff, a Mazda there. I want to say an Alfa Romeo and another. Oh, as Mutt just loses it. No, that's Mutt right down to the back then. I'm afraid that's Mutt right down to the back of the pack. Just got 2 wheels on the AstroTurf there, and that will throw you around. So yeah, as I was saying, the battle for 10th looks like it might be hotting up here. James Harben is getting a bit of a draft on both of these cars, so he's going to be in a position to make something happen. Potentially coming into the bus stop. See Rizzler King flashing his lights there. It doesn't look like too much is going on up ahead, so we can just focus on this a little bit and see what's happening. Down in 10th. So there was a little bit of nudging. Looks like the booking's gone deep. James Harben though, what's James done? Oh, has he got it on? I bet he's just planted it too early. Sorry James, but I'm gonna watch this and see what happened. I remember you saying something on chat, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, he just spiked the throttle. God, that's easy to do. Thing is, with a short wheelbase lightweight car like that, that's a very easy mistake to make, and one that we've all made plenty of times. That one is Spa though, is not why you want to make mistakes like that, so he's going to be in a fight now to get back up into the mix. Meanwhile at the top, Thundercat is chasing Fat Pickles. Pav, who got past me last time around, is chasing down those two, and to be fair, the train is formed now. The train is here. Thundercat goes for a good old drifteroo. He does love a drifteroo, does Thundercat, but that's going to let Pav up the inside. I'm going to be opportunistic at this point as well and say thank you very much. I will take that. So I'm back up to 4th, chasing the Porsche down. But at the same time, it's key to sort of point out what the strat was for Team Lexus, and that was fuel save, fuel save, fuel save. So you'll notice I'm short shifting a lot, I'm lifting and coasting in corners, and my aim is to come into the pits after lap 7 with over 10% fuel left, because you could drain a full tank in the stint in these ones, so I wanted to keep some fuel back. And there are some cars better at fuel saving than others, like the NSXs, so we know when them guys are in the race, we do need to be on it. So, looks like mostly it's settling into a rhythm now. Most people have sort of found their place and their rhythm and are just getting on going with things. Obviously Mutt and James Harben have had offs, so they're now racing for recovery. Let's jump back up to the front and just see how Dawson's getting on. What I wanted to say, we're building a gap to Fat Pickles, but that's not really happening yet. He's not dropping any of these cars behind us. We see who's that? That was LBJ going for a move, or defending a move from Tricky Tree. I want to say he was defending a move there. Yeah, he was, because he was already in 6. But now he's getting absolutely swarmed by Tricky Tree. The Porsche goes for a move around the outside. Don't really know why that happened though, because if he'd gone for a move there, he's just losing slipstream. Might as well, that Porsche, which is a lot quicker than the Alfa in front, might as well just sit behind it coming through this place, and he'll get that move made easily at the end of the Kendall Straight. Just sail past that thing, even with slipstream. But yeah, up at the front, things starting to find their rhythm. cars do have slightly different abilities. The Porsche is very good on its brakes. So is the NSX, though. The Lexus was probably one of the weakest cars on its brakes here. So we did have a bit more of a natural struggle than anyone else in that regard. It's a massive boaty thing that we're driving around. So it doesn't look like Potter's managed to make that move on Tricky. I do have a theory that Potter's hugely fuel saving, because he tends to do that in stint 1 and then goes on a massive attack at the end. If history is to be repeated, that's probably what I'd say he does. That being said, Potter's a driver who does like to get up in your grill, tries to put you off, tries to go for moves and stuff just to let you know he's there, really. I think that's just his strat. Rizzler King, 9th, kind of on his own now. Starting to be dropped by the guys in front, but at the same point not being caught by the guys behind him. So this battle for 10th sort of simmered down a lot since the incidents of previous laps. Meanwhile at the front, still nice and tight. Dawson managed to hold on to it, but the NSX of Fat Pickles and the Porsche of Pav not letting him go. Me and Thundercat are still in this race as well. LBJ's starting to drop back, and that's because he's having to think about the cars behind a lot. He's doing a sterling job of defending too. I'm going to give him credit for that. As you see Potter go for another dive down the inside there. But yeah, LBJ's doing a great job of defending to those guys behind. But what that's doing is that's just allowing us at the top, I say the top, was in sort of 5th, 4th and 3rd, to just focus on what we're doing for now. Let's see if anyone goes for a move down the end of the thermal straight. Dawson's obviously worried because he's going defensive. So he goes to defend that move, nothing doing. So far so good. See how LBJ's getting on. So as you can see, he's got an Alfa Romeo behind him. The Alfa's going to be strong in this sector, so I would expect coming through Piron, which is the corner now, the Alfa will be able to carry much more apex speed there, just like you see. The Porsche is equally strong here as well, but the Alfa is definitely OP when it comes to cornering speed. Let's just see if Tricky goes for a move. I think he's probably playing it a little bit smart at this stage. Just staying behind LBJ where he can afford to. It's not like LBJ's driving slowly. It's a free slipstream effectively. He can save fuel while he's sat behind him. Sometimes just hope for the guy in front to make a mistake and make a free move on them. It's sometimes an important strat to make as well. It's getting really tight at the top now. Dawson's having to go really defensive down to the bus stop chicane. Let's see if anyone makes anything happen under braking. No, nice and close though. So Dawson, Pickles and Pav all involved in this fight. I'm within slipstream range, so I'm still getting a little bit of a suction from these boys. Oh, a little bit of a contact there. Let's just go back and have a look at what happened there. This is on board with Fat Pickles coming into, I want to say it's the source. Just a tad late on the brakes. And then Pav obviously on side goes into the back of him. That though, that brings me right into play. So I'm now 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th all right together within a couple of attempts, absolute maximum. And as we see Fat Pickles just get a little bit sideways. The NSX being an MR car does get a little bit of a balance shift mid-corner. You have to be really careful on the curves. But he handles it well. Pav's going to go for a move looking at it. Pickles does defend that. It's 3 wide. 3 wide at the end of the Camel Straight. So I'm head up at Dawson here. Dawson's starting to get swallowed up by these cars. basically being slowed down a little bit. There was a contact, but Dawson keeps it on the track. And I can say, ladies and gentlemen, in fact, you know what? I want to clip this, and I want to show this to my kids like later on in life. I once overtook Dawson on track. There we go. That's Dawson, and I'm overtaking him. There you go. Alien confirmed. Right, so it might start getting. It's looking like it might start getting scrappy up at the front, but I think what we all sort of do, and people sort of clocks onto this straight away, is we're 10 minutes in. We might as well just use each other to save fuel a little bit. So I mean, this was certainly what I wanted to do at the time. I didn't want to start attacking Fat Pickle straight away. I just wanted us to form a bit of a train, save a bit of fuel, and just go. Pot's got past Tricky Tree though, so I don't quite know where that happened. It looks like he's getting very scrappy back here. LBJ's still winning that fight though. He's a very loud livery Mercedes. So yeah, LBJ's still winning that fight. Pot is, yeah, manically fuel saving. Looking at the fuel levels on his car, he's still at like 49%, something like that, whereas everyone else is probably bordering on the 30s right now. So Dawson's having to defend Thundercat. Going into the bus stop. LBJ manages to defend Potter. Tricky has got Riz the King all up in his chuff. Has 91 kind of on his own right now, as is the Poor King. Up 36 and James Harbin sort of found each other like long lost brothers, and will now resume their own little battle. Milky Bart obviously had an issue somewhere. I didn't quite catch that on camera. Milky Bart, I'm sure you don't mind me missing that, but yeah, I missed that one completely. So although it looks like I went super wide there to get a move made, of course that's not the case. So we're just wanting now to settle into a rhythm again after the chaos of the last lap and get the job done. We'll review this right up until the pits, then as soon as the pit stops start we'll trip out and we'll cover the rest of it. Dawson and Thundercat starting to have a little bit of a battle now. So this is the battle currently for 4th. Thundercat's trying to chase down the league alien Dawson. You can see the top 3 currently just sort of getting on with it. Thundercat and Dawson not really throwing each other up too much. LBJ still winning the fight to Potter, but Potter now is starting to pile the pressure on. So Thundercat just going through Puon, just gets 2 wheels on the AstroTurf and full on Antonio Giovinazzi's it into the wall. It's not necessarily race over for Thundercat. He's still got pace in that car, but it's going to put him down near the back. So moving on, and Potter's still piling on the pressure on LBJ. Filling his mirrors up with Porsche, but LBJ's more than standing up to the pressure right now. He's doing a sterling job, and at the minute though Dawson is able just to gap a little bit and save some fuel. You can see the fuel saving going on in that Lexus is tremendous. He's shifting sometimes for all the lights come on. Sister Lexus up ahead. I'm probably not doing as well on fuel, still saving quite a bit if you compare me to the Porsche of Pav up front. I'm a good sort of 5-6% better on fuel, but Dawson just with the natural pace he's got is able just to defend, keep his pace and save fuel as much as possible. We see some pit stoppers happening in the background. Probably a lap too early for me. I wanted to go 7 laps before pitting. See Fat Pickles and Pav really close together coming through Eau Rouge and Radion. Let's see if any moves get made by anyone at the end of the Camel Straight this time round. Most racers have sort of formed a rhythm right now. Let's see if Pav goes for this. I think he is. Yeah, he's gonna go for it. I opted for Pav slipstream, but ultimately back out of the move. Didn't have enough car ahead, so backed out of it. Don't want to put Fat Pickles off his stride too much, because this was working well for us. We were actually building the gap to Dawson. I know he's epically fuel saving, but we were still putting in some relatively consistent laps. A lot of 217s in there for me. Now I'm in traffic, that is slowing down a little bit, but I am saving fuel to offset it as well. So it's kind of a bit of a trade-off for me. LBJ has escaped. He's escaped the Potter. What we did see coming at the start of this lap is Potter just got it on the AstroTurf just a little bit. He kept it. But it cost him a couple of attempts, and that's enabled LBJ just to sort of escape a little bit and not worry about him too much right now. Tricky Treat still following Potter around. Didn't really seem to be making too much progress in terms of an overtake so far, but he might be waiting for Stint 2 to really pull the trigger on that one. The battle for 10th really calmed down. Some drivers have pitted, so Mutt 36 and Milky Bar have pitted. So has Thundercat as well, and has 91. So yeah, top 10 left to pit, which mostly will happen at the end of this lap now, because Pav hasn't got enough fuel to do another lap, so he's going to come in. Fat Pickles will, so will I. Dawson will too, so will LBJ, so will Potter, so will Tricky, so will Whistler. I'm sure the Pole King will do the same when he comes. So we'll come back to this when everything sort of works itself out after the pit stops. So I messed up. I got distracted when the pits were happening, and put too much fuel in my car. So now I'm down in 5th after running in 3rd for most of that race. He's going to go for a bit of a lunge on pot there. Let's have a look at that again actually. See that. The pot bump drops Pav, and then yeah, just gets out of it. So I had to take some avoiding action there, I think. Let's have a look. So this is from my POV. So you're going to see Potter's car slow down as he bump drafts the car ahead. Yeah, I just had to get out of that. So Potter takes the escape road and resumes in 4th anyway. So all is normal with the world, immediately defends as well. So let's go for the cutback on the inside, get the job done. Now I try to chase down Pav. Meanwhile, Dawson resumes the lead of the race. What else is to be expected? But he has got Fat Pickles both company, and Fat Pickles has had some proper pace. So we'll see how that one develops, because this one could get juicy. Pav in 3rd, not coming under too much stress from me, and we know that Porsche is a fast old beast. Pot is still well within range of a shot at an overtake on me. Tricky Treat in that uniquely fuel-saving beast of an Alpha, doing a grand job in 6th, but I don't think he's getting a slipstream, or he's getting a very slight one. So without one, he might well start to struggle, and LBJ is currently in 7th. So LBJ will want to get himself back up into the mix. Rizzler King down in 8th, with Haz 91 for company in 9th. Haz has done a good job, to be fair. He's up in 9th, and I think, if I remember covering it, he was quite low down at the start of the race. So yeah, he's doing a good job to be up there fighting within the top 10. Thundercat, we saw a moment ago, went off. Pole King in 11th at the minute. Mutt and James Harbin still sort of battling away. And the Milky Bar in 14th currently. So nothing really doing at the top. The top 6 sort of evenly spread out, but we'll have a look what happens at the Camel Straight. So the moves are going to happen. They're going to happen here, really. It does look like everyone's just got enough space to just carry on with their own thing. See me knocking these dildos over that are on the side of the circuit. Yeah, so the top 6 relatively evenly spread. Tricky Tree's massively caught up to Potter though there, so he can start putting Potter under some pressure, which is going to help me out hugely. Because again, I just want to get in my rhythm again now. I'm quite content where I am for the time being. I had a bit more fuel, I knew I had more fuel, I knew I messed up, so I was revving the car out a little bit more than I needed to. Not necessarily always changing down, sorry, shifting up at the fuel saving marks that we were doing. As that one of Rizzler King having a little bit of a battle for honours of 8th. The Ford at the minute is managing to hold the Mazda driver off. Fires flames out from the back of it just to ward the Japanese or whatever it is off. Mazda is Japanese, isn't it? Yeah, it's Hyundai, I'm thinking. Hyundai, some Korean weird things. So what I liked about this race was just how sort of tactical it is on Milky Bar. Just can't be bothered, I don't think. Yeah, just how weirdly intricate and tactical it was turning out to be. So yeah, it was just really strange, to be fair. Assuming they're just stuffing a 2:16.8. So my fastest lap of the night so far. Stuck behind Pav, but quite happy with that pace. I know that's probably not pace I can maintain all of it, but I'm quite high fuel as well, so I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. Potter's busy with Tricky, so these two are scrapping away. See if the Alfa Romeo driver can do anything here. He's coming into his favourite sector though. Sector 2 will really work for the Alfa Romeo. Just scamper away under traction, so Potter had a good grasp of car control for those elements of the circuit. Elsewhere, things have calmed down quite considerably. James Harbin and Mutt 36 is still having a little bit of a love-in down in 12th and 13th. But again, if you look at the times that these guys lump in, they're good times. So they had the pace. They were just unlucky to have some incidents in the race, but they had the pace to be up there. Milky's now resumed racing after his self-proclaimed couldn't be arsed moment. Dawson in the 2:16s as well, without any slipstream, our lad. Fat Pickles, the current owner of the fastest lap of the race, a 2:16.6. Pav in the 2:16.6s as well. I'm in the 2:16.8s at the minute, so a couple of attempts off their pace. I'm just starting to lose slipstream now, so I'm just on the teetering edge of that slipstream, so I wouldn't have been getting an awful lot. So I really need to rev this car out a little bit. Just to try and catch up. 2:16.5 now for Pav. That's nowhere never a 2:18. Couldn't have been a 2:18. Or a shocking lap. Never lost 2 seconds there. No wonder. Yeah, so now I'm starting to lose the slipstream. I really wanted to get that back, so I'll start pushing a little bit more now. We're looking at about 6 minutes left of this race. Things now should start heating up a little bit. Now that people do start going for moves and working out what they can and can't do. Tricky Treat now up into 5th position. I say now up into 5th. It was in 5th anyway, man. Yeah, I'm sure it was. But Potter's now going to want to start making an attack. He's still got good tyres. He's got loads of fuel. In fact, everyone's pretty healthy on tyres and fuel with 5 minutes remaining. Race is coming to its final stages now, and we're about to start our last lap. So some key battles to sort of focus on that we'll pay a little bit more attention to during this last lap than anything else, I guess, is Thundercat versus Grizzly King. It's very close. Spot on scroll through. Dawson, I'm not going to say he's massively under threat from anyone, but Fat Pickles is certainly there. Pav 46 is a good distance between everyone as well, so he's not under threat. Now I've lost the slipstream of the cars ahead, I'm lapping slower. Now the tyres are starting to go as well. But yeah, just a natural loss of pace. It's what happens when you lose slipstream. Two boys who aren't losing slipstream though, Tricky Treat, Pot at Pot. They are lapping faster than me at the minute, so they are catching me. Wasn't at this stage, it wasn't at a worrying enough rate, but Potter's going to go for a move now on Tricky Treat, and he's going to make that stick around the outside, and yeah, he's got that move made. So now Potter's going to be absolutely gunning it, because he can see me. At this point he's about a second or so behind, so he can definitely see me, and know that a move is potentially on, so we'll come back to that one as well. Anything else going on? Covered. There is Mutt and James Harbin going off as well. James carrying way more fuel, so what we may do, a bit of a unique, we'll just see how independently the latter stages of the laps go for everyone, and you might just see little clips. So let's cover Potter's attack on me. So coming round, yeah, what's that, a couple of attempts, yeah, so about 5 attempts maybe, so he's well and truly in the slipstream zone. So I'm only going to be dragging him down this straight as well as the fact that he's probably lapping quicker than me at this stage in the race as well, so he's got that in the bag. So coming down into the bus stop, I go defensive. Potter brakes really late, and then just managed to get the cut back on him coming to the line, and the closest of close finishes between me and Potter. Meanwhile, Thundercat v Grizzly King was getting a little bit spicy as well. Both drivers suffering with tyre wear. 30 minutes of spark can sometimes get a little bit achy as well. Let's go on board with Grizzly King, see how this is progressing. Thundercat gets it a little bit loose, manages to full on drift king it, and just saves it. Look at that. Oh wait, 1 minute. Yeah, gets it loose, opposite lock, full beans, lovely. I need to just put some drift king music over that. And I went back and checked James Harbin and Mutt fight, didn't really transpire into anything in the final lap, so we'll just stick with Dawson as he comes across the line. And got Fat Pickles for company. Fat Pickles is no doubt going to go for a move here, so Dawson has to go defensive. Fat Pickles doesn't throw anything silly around the outside, just manages to tuck it in, does go for the faster exit speed, but Dawson's just about got that covered and brings home another win. Smashes the handbrake on. Love it, boys. Thank you very much for that, Pav. I think it's just a bit too late there, and me and Potter obviously didn't want to risk it. Tricky, let me down. LBJ, come on, mate. Merc drivers, honestly. Grizzly King. What was it for the cat? Go on, lads. Yeah, love it, boys. Right, Paul King. Come on. I know you want chat. What are you going to do now? We'll wait for Monza. Has 91. Was coming under pressure from James Harbin at the end. That's him. 36 got dropped. And the last person to cross the line at Spa is going to be Milky Bar. Kind of one to forget for Milky Bar, I'm afraid, this time around. He's spent a lot of this race in auto drive. But nevertheless, he's finished the race. It looks like he's about to run out of fuel as well, I'm not gonna lie. Literally, that car is showing no fuel in it at all, so we'll see if that runs out. But yeah, that's been Spa. It's been a brilliant race. I do fear the replay hasn't done it justice. Let me know what your favourite moment was in the comments, and obviously give this video a like and all that sort of stuff, as you always will. So now the cars move on to Monza for the reverse grid race. So Milky Bar's going to have a great start at Monza. It's going to be right at the front of the grid, but importantly the Fords are up there as well, and we'll cover that off in the next video. But the Fords are very strong at Monza. So Milky Bar, we'll give him the honour of finishing his lap. Good on you for sticking with it, buddy. I know you've run out of fuel now, or you're about to. So that concludes Spa-Francorchamps. So now we head to Monza, the iconic Italian F1 circuit. It's Spa, obviously F1 circuit as well, so it's good to have two real world, really famous circuits for the final round of the calendar. I think that was a good touch, whether it was intentional or not. It's made some really good videos. Confirmation of race results from Spa on your screen now. It's obviously confirming that Dawson is an alien, but special kudos to Fat Pickles, bro. You know, he was right there with him at the end. So a fourth place for me, I can't be too mad at that. I know it's one place down from where I qualified, but given the fact that I overfueled the car and I am in a room full of really fast drivers, I can't be angry at anything higher than last. To be fair, is not a bad result in hindsight. Right, so I'll sort of wrap the video up here. I'll obviously leave it by saying, in the times we are in at the minute, get your hands washed, stay inside wherever possible. Don't be a knob. Like, we don't need it. I think we all just need to get through whatever it is that the world's going through at the minute, and then we can get back to whatever form of normality we want, really. Whether that is sat in the front of the TV scratching your arse or going out. We need to get back to it. Right, I'll stop being a social warrior and yeah, leave you to your day, evening, night, whenever you watch this. Have a good one, guys. See you later. Bye bye.